Hey guys, what's up? This is Panzer Dragon, and today we'll be doing the top 5 best junglers for solo queue in patch 5.2. As you guys may have read the patch notes before, Rek'Sai has gone from the tier list as she has received some base damage nerfs to her kit, and also a certain mid laner has gotten a jungle buff and now becomes a decent jungler. So there will be a change in the top 5 junglers at the moment, and with all that being said, let's get started. Alright, so first champion we're going to be going over is Vi. So she's still here at number 5 in the previous tier list. The reason she's strong right now is because she has pretty good sustain in the jungle, and by sustain I mean she doesn't take that much damage in the jungle due to her passive. And also she does have pretty good clears with her W, doing maximum % health damage and of course auto resets. And of course her ganks are really strong since all she has to do is hit that Q and basically someone's either going to flash or take a lot of damage and either get bursted down or die. And then of course after 6 it's basically like a free kill when you ult onto someone, as they are locked down for a good amount of time. She can also build two ways, where she can go carry mode and go Trinity Force or even another Brutalizer, or she can just go pure tank and rely on her CC plus her base damage coming from her kit. The only thing that might happen is if you're about to initiate with her and you use your ultimate, you could be bursted down if you're not tanky enough. Other than that, she's really good at kicking ass in Season 5, or should I say, punching ass. Anyways, at number 3 we do have Nidalee. So Nidalee has received a jungle buff by proccing her passive onto neutral monsters now. As she was like a decent jungler before, with this buff I actually think she makes a really good jungler right now. The reason is because you have more damage on your takedown now, and you also can do 2 pounces instead of 1. Your jungle clears are also faster since you do get that 30% more movement speed when you're walking towards these enemies. You can also use your W to hop over walls with your Q, so if you need to gank something that's warded, try and find a nearby wall. And say if you're trying to get to your red buff from say behind it, all you have to do is Q it and then pounce to it, instead of walking all the way around just to get to it. Her ganks are really good because it does feel like Nidalee roaming into your lane and then landing that spear and then killing you. Once mid game does come around, she can start poking the enemy, and if they're low enough she can, well, assassinate them. Her only con is that her spears don't do as much damage as before, and I actually think she kind of falls off a bit late game, as you'll start seeing her spears aren't impactful as much as they were before, and it's harder for her to pounce into team fights as there's a lot more damage coming from the enemy team unless she has Hourglass. Next up we do have Pantheon at number 3. So Pantheon is really good in the Season 5 jungle. He doesn't take that much damage from the creeps. His ganks are super strong, and once he's level 6, he has a semi-global ultimate for ganking his lanes, and it's hard to figure out where he's going to gank next, as you can't see him unless you have deep wards in his jungle or in the lanes. The armor penetration plus the AD coming from the new jungle item also benefits him greatly, since armor penetration makes him do a lot of damage with his skills. His valued points are early in mid game where he does a lot of damage, but once the late game does come and starts rolling around, his damage isn't there, as it kind of falls off unless you keep building damage, but even then it still falls off. And simply he's not tanky enough, as people see him coming down and then they can focus all their damage onto him and then kill him if he's not tanky enough. Also, he kind of relies on his team to have a follow-up initiation after he uses his ult to initiate, and so if you have more of a pokey comp and like backline like Xerath, then it's going to be kind of hard to follow up, unless you have people like Sivir, Aurelia, all these people in the front line, or even in Leona, then it's all good, as long as he's not the only one jumping in. And at number 2 we do have Fiddlesticks. So he's strong because he has really good sustain in the jungle. He can go Stalker's Blade to help him with the ganks. He doesn't need to keep buying pots except for maybe a mana pot, but even then he probably just hogged the blue buff to himself. And the biggest point of him is his ultimate, which can be game changing if you get onto the right target. Or of course if you land a good ultimate onto like 5 people, then you can win the game off that. Enemies trying to siege you will have a problem with that, since if they don't have vision of you, well, they'll just probably get ulted on by Fiddlesticks and then just get cleaned up by him. The biggest con of Fiddlesticks is enemies knocking him away from his targets like Alistar and Janna, especially Janna, since basically if you don't focus her, she's just going to ult you away, and if the enemy always knows where you are, they'll be cautious about that area, and then it's kind of hard for you to get to engage onto the enemy team. Other than that, he is a really solid jungler. And at number 1, of course it's going to be Jarvan. So Jarvan, again, in Season 4, he was a really good jungler. In my opinion, he was number 1. And I can compare him with Vi. Basically, he's more tankier than Vi. and I feel like he just does more damage than Vi since her base damage relies on her hitting her combo, while Jarvan can basically just EQ in and then ult them and use his passive and auto attacks. Initiation is also basically half a screen, as he just EQs in, ults someone and then catches them out, and then his team can just clean up whoever's in that pit. His EQ combo also allows him to get out of any sticky situations, and he can actually do it twice with one flag, which does come in handy at times, or even a double knockup onto enemies. Basically, he has really good base damage, has really good initiation, being naturally tanky, and these are all attributes of being a really good jungler. The only con about Jarvan I can really think of is he has no innate sustain, but he does have a shield like Vi, and his E does give him a good amount of armor so the enemies in the jungle do not hurt him a lot. Hey guys, so this is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you guys did enjoy this video, feel free to subscribe right there. And if you want to check out some other tier lists, they are going to be right about there. There's a mid tier list for you guys, a support, and top laners for you guys. There won't be a AD carry, just because I don't feel like no AD carries have been shifted, like no nerfs or buffs, so that's why there's no AD carries. But yeah, there's some shifts into the mid laners, top supports, and top laners, all for patch 5.2. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.